Let's stop pretending The Boys is a superhero show. It's a 4-season long panic attack about what happens when you give the worst guy you know the power of a god and a corporate legal team to back him up. It's essentially a documentary on why late-stage capitalism and flight powers are a recipe for a literal apocalypse. Everyone in this show is a mess. But today we're looking at the true, bottom-of-the-barrel, feral, unhinged sociopaths who make the world a worse place just by breathing. Here are the top 10 most evil characters in The Boys. Starting us off at number 10, we have Blue Hawk. Blue Hawk is that one guy in your hometown who never stopped being a bully, but now has a badge and the ability to punch through a brick wall. He's the physical manifestation of "I'm not racist, but," followed by the most insane hate crime you've ever seen. He hides behind neighborhood safety to brutalize black communities, and when he's called out, he plays the victim. He's a low-tier loser with high-tier consequences. If you're wondering why Homelander is like that, well, look no further than Barbara at number 9. She's the Vought scientist who raised a superpowered toddler in a concrete box. She didn't give him toys or hugs or love, just lasers and psychological trauma. She didn't see a child, she saw a product that needed to be stress-tested. She's a major reason why the world is ending, and she probably still thinks she deserves a pension for it. Victoria Neuman comes in at number 8 on our list. She spent years building a brand as the progressive outsider fighting for the little guy, all while she was literally exploding the heads of anyone who got in her way. The congressional hearing scene? That wasn't just a plot twist, it was Newman's coming out party as a mass murderer. What makes her truly evil is her lack of loyalty. She'll sell out Stan Edgar, the guy who adopted her, the second it helps her career. She's not really doing this for a cause. She's doing it because she wants to be the queen on the throne. Take Batman, remove the not killing rule, and add a very specific, very disturbing sexual fixation on literally anything with a hole, and you have Tech Knight. Landing at number 7. He's a billionaire predator who uses his detective skills to find people's weaknesses just so he can exploit them. He's proof that in this universe, being a genius just makes you a more efficient creep. He'll gladly help with murders and internment camps, and he's proud to come from a family of slave catchers. So, yeah. At number 6, we have Sister Sage. She's the smartest person on the planet, and she's decided to spend that IQ on ending democracy because she's bored. She doesn't have a tragic backstory. She just thinks human beings are predictable, boring, and deserve to be manipulated. She's whispering in Homelander's ear, teaching a man-child with laser eyes how to actually be a dictator. She fuels race riots and collapses governments like she's playing a game of SimCity on a Tuesday afternoon. There's something uniquely evil about someone who understands exactly how to fix the world, but chooses to burn it down just to see how quickly she can do it and watch the flames dance. Our number 5 spot might be a little surprising, but we've got Madeline Stillwell. She was the one managing Homelander, which basically meant using a mix of sexual manipulation, fake maternal affection, and a whole lot of milk to keep a god under her thumb. She's the one who looked at a plane full of dead civilians on Flight 37 and immediately started thinking about how to turn it into a PR win. She didn't care about the lives lost. She cared about the stock price. Stillwell is the embodiment of every soulless corporate executive who would sell their own mother for a 2% increase in quarterly earnings. I think we can all agree she got what she deserved. Coming in at number 4, barely missing the top 3, is the man you've all been waiting for. Homelander. Homelander is what happens when you give an insecure, unloved child the power to wipe out a city. He's a walking identity crisis with a god complex. He doesn't want to rule the world because he has a vision. He wants to rule it because he wants everyone to tell him he's a good boy. He's raped, murdered, and psychologically tortured anyone who even slightly inconvenienced him. He forced a girl to jump off a roof because he was feeling a lot of emotions. He's the most dangerous person on the planet because he's completely unpredictable. One minute he's saving a kitten for the cameras, and the next he's lasering a crowd because a strand of hair fell out. He's pure, unfiltered ego with a body count that just keeps rising. But despite all that, we've got some worse people to finish off the list. Taking our bronze medal at number 3, if I'm not mad, just disappointed, was a person. We've got Stan Edgar. He doesn't have powers, and he doesn't need them. He's the guy who signed off on the experiments, the cover-ups, and the industrial-scale human rights abuses that built Vought. He's the one who realized that heroes aren't people, they're intellectual property. He sold Compound V to terrorists just to create a market for his own superheroes. That is a level of big brain evil that most villains can't even touch. He's completely detached from human emotion. To Stan, a massacre is just a line item in a spreadsheet. He's got enough blood on his hands to fill a lake, and he doesn't seem to care. With our silver medal at number 2, our runner-up for the worst scum on Earth, it's none other than Stormfront. Stormfront is a literal, actual Nazi. No metaphors here. She was married to the founder of Vought in the 40s. She's a 100-year-old white supremacist who realized she didn't need a Third Reich to win. She just needed a Twitter account and a bunch of memes. When Stormfront isn't spreading hate, she likes to spend her time slaughtering minorities in apartment buildings and trying to convince Homelander to lead an army and take over the world. She's the absolute worst-case scenario for a soup, someone with a genocidal ideology and the power to back it up. Watching her get burned to a crisp by a kid was the most nature is healing moment in the entire show. And here we have it, our gold medal winner for the most evil person of all time award. At number 1, we have Frederick Vought, the Nazi scientist who realized he could scale his master race ideology by creating a corporation of superpowered soldiers. He didn't just invent a drug. He invented a system where evil is profitable. Every single death on this list, every plane crash, every head explosion, every traumatized kid in a lab is pretty much his fault. He provided the tools for every monster we've seen. He took the worst parts of the 20th century and packaged them into a 21st century brand. He's the original sin of the series, and the world is rotting because of him. Now, you might be wondering how a few fan favorites missed the list, so let's give a shout out to our honorable mentions, starting with the deep. Look, he's a joke, but he's a dangerous joke. He's a serial sexual predator and murderer who uses his platform to manipulate women and then plays the I'm a sensitive guy who loves the ocean car to get out of it. He's pathetic and awful, but he doesn't quite crack the top 10. Our next honorable mention goes to Soldier Boy, who thinks he's the greatest hero, but he's really just a 1940s racist bully who spent his career beating his teammates and being a miserable, abusive jerk. He's a radioactive fossil who forgets about all the innocent people he's killed as collateral damage because he's too busy sleeping with your grandma and smoking a blunt. And let's not forget about A-Train, who started the show by running through a human being like they were a wet paper bag. He spent his life chasing fame, selling his soul, and letting Vought kill whoever they wanted as long as his face was still on the cereal box. But hey, at least he apologized, and he's trying to do better now. Last but not least, it's Black Noir. He was Vaught's personal hitman for decades. He didn't ask questions. He just removed problems. While he was definitely a victim of the system, you don't get to be a silent assassin for a fascist corporation for years without being a little evil. And that's all, folks. The top 10 most evil characters in the boys universe. So yeah, if you ever find yourself in a world with superheroes, do yourself a favor. Don't ask for an autograph. Just get as far away from the capes as humanly possible. Now, I'm sure you all have your own opinions on this list, so drop them down in the comments and tell me why I'm wrong. Oh, and before you go, let me know what you want to see next.